All right, well, I think we should go ahead and get started. I have a couple of...
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Carolyn. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items, and then I'll turn it over to Carolyn to welcome everyone. First of all, we'd love if you could type your name and your organization and location into the chat. We do ask that you stay engaged and participate. Do please mute your microphone unless you need to speak. And feel free to use the chat if you have questions or comments that you want to share during this session. Also, just a reminder to be mindful of your microphone and camera. We are recording this session and we'll make it available after we cover today's content. Carolyn, go ahead and take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. And welcome to all of you all on our Zoom meeting where we're going to be sharing information with each of you. You'll be the first ones to see what we're doing and to get your feedback on this. I would like to also take this opportunity to talk about the people who we've been working with to develop this Northwest Indiana BizHub, which will provide resources to build a better business. And this might be for small business, larger business. And we encourage all of you all to ask your friends and colleagues to join in on this if possible. But I would like to just mention those people who've been involved with this. SourceLink has been a great partner in helping us develop this website, and we want to thank them for their support of this. We also, Legacy Foundation is Lake County's community foundation, and we are one of the funding partners, as is the Crown Point Community Foundation, Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, and also the Center for Workforce Innovations, which helps provide some support to cover the Porter County area of Northwest Indiana. We also have a partner with the Indiana Small Business Development Center in Northwest, which is Lori Felt. And so, as you can see, we've got a strong partnership that has been working on this for a number of months. I think we signed the contract with Rob and his team back in April, and we're just really excited to be able to show you what we've got. A couple of people that I do want to mention who've been really instrumental in also working with us, and those are staff here at Legacy and through our Community Development Center, and that's Donna Catalano, who is the director of the CDC, the South Shore Neighborhood Development Center, and then Miranda Fishback, who is on staff at Legacy Foundation, and she's really, the two of them have been the ones that have put the put the sweat and equity into making this this resource available for all of you. So again, we're looking forward to your feedback. We're looking forward to your participation. And at that, I'm going to turn it over to Maggie Sparks, who's with the Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, who will talk a little bit about how we got to the place where we are today.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good to see you all here. I'm going to make this quick. As many of you may or may not know, the community foundations in Northwest Indiana work fairly closely, very closely together. We have for many decades, actually. And when the Ignite plan was finished in 2018, what caught our attention was this report that said that our entrepreneurial culture and ecosystem has been undeveloped. I think that's a nice understatement for many reasons. So the goal that came out was to build the entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem, an asset map to help entrepreneurs, startups, and investors to navigate our state and natural regional resources. So we, as community foundations, had some resources, particularly Legacy at that point through a Lilly match, a Lilly grant, and we started to take a look at what would that look like? What would that asset map look like? And along the way, we discovered SourceLink, who was under the kind of originated under the Kauffman Foundation, which we all know is supportive of entrepreneurs. And then they identified 4 different types of entrepreneurs. So 2 things. One, there's a little 4-minute video should be on the website. You'll see later. We won't show the video today on those different entrepreneurs. And then if you have not looked at the Ignite the Region plan on the Northwest Indiana Forum's website, please do. It is loaded with amazing information. And this is part of the implementation of that particular action agenda. SourceLink also did a little report for us that recommended 4 things. One is that we do have resources in Northwest Indiana, but nobody knows about them. We need to make them visible, thus this project. The second was that around entrepreneurial funding and financial supports, we need more analysis on that, because many people say they support entrepreneurs, but do they write checks, or do they just send people to the people who write checks? And that's what we need to figure out. The third was that resource partners say they kind of help everyone, and their suggestion was a best practice of really refining that to particular audiences on types of entrepreneurs or types of industries or clusters. And the fourth would be that most of our work was focused, our research was focused on you, the providers, the partners and the people who deliver the services. We had focus groups with entrepreneurs, which was very helpful, but we think we need to spend more time with those entrepreneurs because we think it could better shape our strategies. So again, please look at Ignite the Region. Pillar number 2 is entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystems. And also you'll enjoy the website, and make sure you look at the little video. So thank you.
Okay, that brings me up with, I'm going to do some landscape findings with the mapping report that SourceLink did for us. I don't know, most of you, this past June, Northwest Indiana BizHub hosted a virtual gathering of potential resource partners, and 34 organizations attend that first virtual meeting. The session was designed to build on the Ignite report that Maggie was talking about. And we wanted to gather additional insights into Northwest Indiana entrepreneurial ecosystem and introduce Northwest Indiana BizHub. As you know, Northwest Indiana BizHub did engage SourceLink to help build an asset map, and that report outlines the strengths of the existing entrepreneur support network and opportunities that we have that we can fill in those gaps. Most of you know Northwest Indiana is known for its diversity of industry, our strength in manufacturing, our location to several larger cities, and of course our proximity to Lake Michigan. We of course are known for our work ethic. Northwest Indiana has a willingness to try new things, reinvent, and of course be creative. In terms of strength of entrepreneurial ecosystem, participants noted that many resources exist, but that there's a general lack of awareness of those available resources. Of the resources that do exist, they're not equally accessible, particularly to those in disadvantaged communities. And in fact, those who need the resources the most usually have the hardest time finding them. We did find that collaboration has been increasing, and with the current economic crisis, it's actually caused more people to think about starting their own business while they're sitting at home. So accessible resources are more important than ever. Capital, as Maggie said, is also a challenge for both business owners and the organizations that support them. Many businesses struggled with that Paycheck Protection Program application and grant writing support that were available. And the gaps in the capital continuum were mentioned frequently in our focus group. And they also noted difficulty in securing funding, which was even more challenging for those who lacked a credit history or personal resources. Another challenge mentioned was shortage of mentors, the importance of trust, and the difficulties of building trust when you're doing everything virtually. At the start of our project, we did identify 90 entrepreneurial support organizations here in the region among the 3 counties and a few outside of our county. 53 of those organizations prior to doing this mapping report filled out the profile survey. And as of today, we actually have 57 of you that have filled out profiles. For those of you who haven't, you can still go do that. Overall services are offered by a broad range of entrepreneurial support organizations. Events and marketing and planning are the top services offered. Marketing and sales, which includes support for exporting and business research, is offered by 32 organizations, and 27 organizations report that they offer funding assistance. And like Maggie referred to, they offer assistance, but who actually writes the checks? And we need to find more of those. Networking groups and organizations that host events provide a key component to this ecosystem. These organizations may need additional support as they pursue creative ways to continue reaching entrepreneurs amid the restrictions of social distancing. Profiles collected also included information on entrepreneurs served by business stage, type, and specific population. For many organizations, it's difficult to serve all stages, types, and audiences, and we feel that there may be an opportunity for some more specialization. Most organizations served all types of entrepreneurs, while many also serve a variety of special audiences. Mapping the assets to support entrepreneurs and business owners in a community and understanding the gaps is a critical first step in strengthening a region's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Northwest Indiana has a core group of service providers that cover the entire range of services typically needed by entrepreneurs to start and grow successful companies. Making those resources more available and visible and accessible will be critical to the region's success in growing its economy. And finally, Northwest Indiana should be clear on how the community wants to measure success in terms of entrepreneurial growth. It's important to note that while jobs are a key metric, it's nearly impossible to create successful companies that hire people without building a strong foundation of networked resources. We hope that Northwest Indiana BizHub will become that foundation. Thank you, Rob. Up to you.
Thank you, Donna. What a lovely way to introduce NWIBizHub.com. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears, so everyone hold tight here. All right. So this is the production website, very near ready to launch. We're all going to give you a sneak preview of what we've been working on the last few months, pulling together information and resources to make them readily accessible to area entrepreneurs and also to all of you. The first thing that I just want to highlight some of the key features and functions of the site. One critical component is that ability to find information, and that ability for entrepreneurs to find information, whether they're just starting or even if they're growing. We've been working on these startup guides that allow entrepreneurs with a click of a button to immediately dive in and learn about how they can evaluate their business idea, how they can develop their business plan, how they can register and license their business, a very common challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs. Everything to opening their doors, whether that's a virtual doors right now, hopefully soon actual physical doors, so that they can meet and greet customers and conduct business. The other piece on NWIBizHub.com, in addition to just having great informational pages that allow entrepreneurs to get to information, is the resource navigator component. Earlier, and as Donna mentioned, we had dozens of you complete a profile and share with us information about your organization's name, the resources, and a very detailed listing that you provide to area entrepreneurs and where you serve those entrepreneurs. All of that data has culminated in the organizations that you see here on the navigator. This is the front-facing view of the data that you submitted here the last few weeks. Entrepreneurs will soon be able to come to this particular site. They'll be able to enter in their zip code. They'll be able to filter in an area of assistance. And this might look familiar because you remember that very, very long survey you filled out. They'll be able to pick, and we'll just do, let's see here. Marketing and sales came up in the report as one of those needs. So we'll do marketing and sales. And then there are specific needs. For our purposes, we'll just do market research. They can identify as belonging to one of these populations. at any one of these business types and stages. And as Maggie mentioned, we actually have a really nice video that talks a little bit more about what those terms actually mean. They can identify an industry, and then they can actually search this system. And when they search, it will look through the database of all of the great resources that all of you provide, and then will render the organizations that appear to be a pretty good fit for helping that entrepreneur with that particular challenge or opportunity to get them to that next step. See, it's taking a little while to load here. Okay, here we go. So in terms of market research, obviously the university has some resources. The Small Business Development Center regularly conducts market research and provides that information. You can see these are the kinds of resources that show up. One other additional thing I just wanted to note, again, when you completed that survey, one of the things that you helped tell us was who's the best person to connect entrepreneurs to inside of your organization. And so here we have Lori, and we have Lori's contact information with the SBDC, and entrepreneurs are able to immediately get connected there so that they can schedule that appointment and get right to work. So an important part of what we're trying to do is facilitate and make sure that those connections are quick and easy. In addition to the Navigator system, one of the other core benefits that we're going to be launching to the region will be a shared calendaring system. We know, especially right now, there are a lot of virtual trainings and workshops and even some networking opportunities. And we heard during the feedback session, it's really hard for entrepreneurs and even for many of you that are resource partners yourselves to understand all of the great things that are going on in the region. To tackle this, there is a shared calendaring system that will be deployed. And so whether it's a virtual meeting or in-person meeting, all of the different events and opportunities, business opportunities will be listed in one central spot. This also represents a great way for all of you as resource partners to be able to participate, as you'll be able to add your own events and garner more visibility for all the great work that you're already doing. And actually, there's a link at the bottom of the calendar that will walk you through that. It's a very easy process. And once submitted, we approve it and we'll get it up on the site. So that's the community calendar that we'll be deploying. We know that there's another component I want to highlight, and that is the blog engine on this platform. This is really going to be a megaphone for Northwest Indiana and for small business and entrepreneurship and for all of you. And one of the things that we're really excited about with this particular platform is the ability to solicit guest blogs and articles and share your success stories and the success stories for entrepreneurs in the region. We're going to be doing that by populating this blog and keeping it fresh and full of really interesting information that not just helps entrepreneurs, but also helps the region and celebrate success there. So that's a quick tour of the website. Feel free to enter in any feedback, comments, questions into the chat. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint because I want to talk just a little bit before I turn it back over to Lori about some KPIs and measures. And Maggie teed this up really lovely at the beginning, and Donna too. It's hard to measure success when you're looking at trying to build a network of support. And it's not always best to be measuring jobs. Sometimes we need to think about how we might measure networks of support in terms of access, strength, and reach. And so this is just an example from one of our other SourceLink affiliates. On the left here, you can see this is coming from Iowa SourceLink and some of the different measures that they pulled together. As a community, I think this is something that, and I know that you will be continuing this conversation and discussing this as a network, but these are some things to think about and ways to conceptualize how you might measure success as you begin kind of working on getting to year 2 and year 3 and ongoing with NWI BizHub. Lori, I'm going to go ahead and now turn it back over to you. Lori, are you there? I think you might be on mute.
Good morning. I hope you're as excited as I am to see what Rob just showed. It's not live yet, but NWI BizHub is well on its way. And I love that we have a big group of resource partners this morning who have been able to take a look at it. So I, like the rest of most of you on the call, am a resource partner. So we have that in common. And I want to share a few next steps in terms of the launch of NWI BizHub. So I think a lot of you may be familiar with our event called the E-Day Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards. I know many of you have attended in the past. We're excited about that event as always, but in particular because this year, the launch of NWI BizHub will occur at our event, E-Day, on November 12th. So that's in about a month. Our event this year, because of circumstances, is going to be both in person and virtual. But it will include a demo of the site, actually very similar to what you have just seen Rob do. So that will be your opportunity, as well as many others who attend E-Day, to actually see the live launch of NWI BizHub. I'll share registration information about that in a moment. To give you an idea of next steps for the website itself, the first week of November, we'll have a soft launch. So the website will go live in about that time frame. So you'll look for it and be able to interact with it in some of the ways that you just saw Rob demonstrate. So we've got some things we need to do as a network. I mean, this is a team effort, right? We really, all of us as resource partners, have the opportunity to get the word out about NWI BizHub. Of course, each of us have websites and social media platforms where we can begin to share the BizHub and the great resources that you've just gotten a sneak peek of. But there are other ways that resource partners can interact. Some examples of those would be, maybe you have some really great content, a link that you'd like potentially shared on the site. That's something you can provide, and we'll have contact information shortly for you to do that. Or are there other resources that you think may belong on the hub? Maybe you have great photos of some of your events, and that's a way that you could share information that will keep the site fresh over time. As mentioned, you know, we're developing a network here. I think that's one of the most positive things about this experience is all of us as resource partners meeting together regularly. Certainly NWI BizHub not only will have the website, but its own social media sites. You see them there, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So I actually would like to ask you, I know you have a phone nearby, right? If you could actually pull up your favorite social media site, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or all of the above, and look for @NWI BizHub, or I believe Miranda has shared the links in chat as well. Why don't you click on one or more of those and like or follow it, and you'll begin to see the great work actually that Miranda's been doing to begin to provide content on NWI BizHub, the social identity for this site. So I'd love to share also some information again about the E-Day launch and how you can participate. We're offering a virtual invitation to you. The link in front of you is how, as resource partners, you can attend E-Day virtually, if that's the way you choose to do it, at no charge. So please register for E-Day on that link if you want to attend E-Day virtually. Of course, I mentioned it's also an in-person event, so if you prefer to register that way, we'll share information, or you can find that through SBDC or edayleaders.com as to how to register to attend in person. That event is Thursday, November 12th. And it's to begin around noon, the virtual portion. And as mentioned, it'll include a great demonstration of what will then be a live NWI BizHub site. I'd love to share with you on the next slide a list of the resource partners that are included on the BizHub. Holy cow, what is that, 57? That's why the font is so small. There's so many of us, right? So I'm sure you, if you have registered to be a resource partner, see your organization listed there. Perhaps this is a moment also, if a resource occurs to you that would be also a great one to share on the BizHub and you don't see it in the list, please let us know that. You know, we're always open to more resources, and really the more the better in terms of providing information and good help to small business owners and entrepreneurs. So I know we've covered a lot of material today. I would love to take a next step and get your feedback on some of what you have seen. So let's open it up, whether you prefer to make a comment by unmuting and speaking, or I know some of you have made comments already in chat. Thank you for doing that. Let's cover for a moment the landscape report you heard Donna review earlier, where she was kind of articulating what was found in terms of an assessment of the entrepreneurial landscape. Any thoughts, questions, or observations about what was shared earlier? Specifically about the entrepreneurial landscape report.
I just covered it all, I guess.
I guess Donna did a super job of that. So if you're still thinking about it, feel free to make a comment on that. I suppose what you're thinking about most is the BizHub website itself. I do see we've had some comments already here. Looks like the community calendar is going to be kind of a hit. I would say that's something we've been talking about for a long time. Here we have the opportunity to actually share our events in a common site. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. What are your other thoughts about specifically the BizHub website? I know very fresh, you just saw it. But what did you notice, or what questions may you have about NWI BizHub, the site? Looks like in chat, a couple of people have shared they like the social media sites. Apparently somebody's already followed us, at least one.
Actually, I just looked, we went from 22 likes on Facebook to 35 with your little announcement, Lori.
Hey, resource partners, fantastic. I appreciate that you
I
jumped
like that.
in. So keep it going. Those of you who haven't quite done that yet, pick your favorite site or more than one. I think most resource partners might have been most interested in that resource navigator functionality. So I'm interested what feedback you might have about that, or anything that you saw as far as how the navigator selections work.
Hey, Lori, this is Cindy Roberts. Yeah, I just commented it looks super slick and really easy to navigate. So it looks like you've got like all the criteria that people can search for. So it looks pretty detailed, and then hopefully we'll give them pretty specific resources to meet their need. So well done. I think it looks great, and yeah, hopefully lots of people use it.
And we are going to have a function where if you want to get feedback from someone in particular, you'll be able to fill a form in and somebody will get back to you within 24 hours.
So super slick and easy to navigate. That sounds pretty good. Way to go, SourceLink, right? Let's see. Somebody's asking if we're also going to have an Instagram page for NWI BizHub. So that's something to consider. Thanks for that question, Mont. Looks like Heather says she thinks this is awesome and filling a void.
Can I just add that when we went through we designed this logo by committee, but we think it's fabulous. But we also chose the name because of Chicago. They have a similar thing. Theirs is a little more on steroids because they have a little more resources behind it. Theirs is called Shy Biz Hub. So there can be a natural link between the resources from our neighbors to the west which would more fully connect Northwest Indiana to the Chicago economic region. So we chose it not to look exactly like it, but to be close enough where maybe someone from Illinois searching for like a commercial kitchen here would migrate this way.
And we did talk to them, so we're both on board with sharing things with each other. So it'll make for a nice partnership.
And if I can jump in just with a couple of nerdy technical things that I wanted to share with everyone. In the spirit of better linking and collaborating, connecting all of the regions and the resources, part of the cool thing that this site will do is provide a lot of links going out to all of you as resource partners. And one of the ways that we can actually help one another and help entrepreneurs find not just the hub, the BizHub, but also your own site, is if we can go and be able to secure reciprocal links. And specifically, what I'm asking and suggesting that you do is, for instance, on the Center for Workforce Innovation site, add a button or a link to NWI BizHub that will help us drive traffic both ways. And the technical way that this works is when someone is doing a search, for instance, in Google for, I'm looking for startup help, Google will evaluate how different organizations are linked together online. And that is what determines what is shown to that entrepreneur. And what we don't want them to do is navigate a very long and a difficult process of getting to that right resource. And that's one way we can tackle that is just by cross-linking and cross-promoting. And so that'll be something in the coming year we're going to be reaching out about. And I'm happy. I'll get my email address here into the chat, but we're happy to work through if any partners want help adding those links or with best practices. We've even developed a guide that has suggested language, and we can even pull together code snippets that your developer can put on the site if that's helpful. We're just here kind of in the background of service to all of you and in service of this exciting effort. There are other possibilities with this system that I'll just quickly touch on. There is the ability of sharing the navigator system. So if you wanted to put the entire navigator on your own site, there's that possibility. There's also the possibility of sharing the calendaring system. So for some of you, Lori, I know you deliver a lot of online programming. It would sure, and programming in general, it would sure be nice to update one calendar as opposed to two. There is the possibility with this infrastructure that we're providing to allow for some of these standalone pieces to be shared on different sites. So these are all just exciting things that we'll be working and discovering together as we continue and as your network continues to grow. But I just wanted to throw those two things in.
Any other feedback, comments, questions about the BizHub website? And of course, as mentioned, if you think of a resource that you think would really fit with what we're doing, maybe somebody who hasn't yet filled out their form, please let us know. I think also Rob included a link about that as well. So it's one great thing about a site like this is it's alive, dynamic, and can be added and changed over time.
Here's that form that all of you completed. You probably don't want to see it again.
It's a little long.
It's just a touch long.
Hi, Rob. Sorry, it's Kyle Piernoff. I'm wondering if you are handling pre-launch SEO for the site, or is someone else taking care of that?
We're sort of, kind of. We're building the framework and we're getting the architecture in place. We're not doing any ongoing pay-per-click campaigns or optimization, or we're just getting everything
Okay.
set up.
All right, because in the past, when I've looked for the URL with just the NWI BizHub, it doesn't show up on top of the fold first page. I have to type in the entire domain name to get to the landing page you just showed. And
Okay.
That's helpful to know. I know part of it is that we haven't launched the actual site yet.
sure.
So we haven't turned on we've actually told it, Google it shouldn't be indexing. So I'm
Oh,
why it's even
well,
going
okay.
on Google yet.
That would-
But yeah, and if that's an expertise of yours, please let's connect and let's get you involved, because that's so needed and going to be incredibly valuable to the ongoing success of this initiative and being able to drive traffic and engagement on the site. Okay.
Continue to receive some great feedback and positive comments in the chat, and that's so appreciated. Thank you all for taking a strong look at it and sharing what you think so far. I think Mary, you're up next with some next steps.
Thank you, Lori. And just again, we want to thank everybody here. This has been a huge collaborative effort, and it takes all of us to obviously make sure that those resources are out there for our small businesses, our entrepreneurs. So thank you. We appreciate your time, your willingness to participate. And for those who have not had an opportunity yet to join us, it's simple, nwibizhub.com. As we mentioned, there's 57 resource partners currently. If there are some that are missing, please let us know. You can let us know through our info at nwibizhub.com. We'd love to include as many resource partners as possible to be able to make this as viable for the business community as we can. And also, we wanted to let you know that this is not the end. This is just the beginning. We're excited about the launch, and we're excited about you and your partnership as a part of NWI BizHub. So if you can, please encourage those who have not had an opportunity to become a resource partner on the site. They can simply complete that form, just like those of you who have already done so we could just continue to make this bigger and better. We also look at just getting together periodically to get your feedback, your input on how we can look at any improvements or things that we want to add, and continue to just provide the type of information that's going to help those in the business community advance their businesses, accelerate it, and have those successes that build up our economy throughout the whole region. So again, we appreciate your willingness to participate, your collaboration. Obviously, remember to register for the event, for the E-Day event on November 12th, where we have our live launch of the site. And we just, again, thank you for your participation, and we're excited for the upcoming launch. So thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. Take care.